Good morning and thanks so much for joining in. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit and my name is Alex Mathew. This show gets you answers to all your stock related questions. So you can send them to us on any one of our social media platforms or indeed on the WhatsApp number that should be flashing on your screen right now. Now, we take all questions, but tell us your name, in fact, and also tell us your location where you're tuning in from, and whether or not your question is long-term in nature or short-term in nature. That is, if you're looking for a trade or if you're looking to adjust your investment portfolio. Now, we've got a technical and a fundamental expert on the show. We've got Rohan Mehta, who's the founder of Turtle Wealth, and we've got Rajesh Palvia, who is the Senior Vice President, Technical and Derivatives at Axis Securities. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for taking the time. Rohan has joined us as things stand right now. Let me very quickly take you through what is happening with the markets right now. And you have the Nifty 50 that's down about 1.4%. It's off the low point of the day. The story really has to be the banking pack, and the Nifty Bank down quite sharply in trade today. In fact, it is losing about 3.2% at this juncture, primarily led by HDFC Bank. And this is on the back of the results. We'll be talking about this in more detail in just a bit. But HDFC Bank trading very close to the low point of the day, down about 6.6% or thereabouts. The entire banking pack, and if we can pull up the constituents of the Nifty Bank, you will see that the banking pack is also a little bit worse for the wear today. You have the likes of Kotak Bank as well as Bandhan Bank as well as ICICI Bank all losing ground, all the private sector banks. We'll talk about that in more detail, and indeed, if you have HDFC Bank, what you need to do about this in your portfolio. Among the other sectors that are in focus, you have auto that's down about 1% or so. You have metal as a pack that is doing not too well, down about 1.7% or thereabouts, and realty also losing ground about 1%. In fact, the broader markets are doing particularly better than the benchmark, and they are down only about 0.4% for the Nifty Mid-Cap 150 index and about 0.3% down for the Small Cap index. But let's focus in on HDFC Bank. The Q3 numbers were a bit of a disappointment, if you can say that, and to say the least. The NIM contracted, that is the net interest margin, that's the margin that the bank earns, as well as the provision number was much higher than expected. In fact, it grew as much as 50% on a year-on-year basis. Now, the question, Rohan, is whether or not investors should reduce their holding of HDFC Bank. And on the flip side, if you are sanguine and if you think that some of those disappointments are now in the price, if you think you should add at these levels.
Yeah, good morning. HDFC has been the top of the town. I'll tell you 2-3 things of looking forward for HDFC as an investment. So first of all, let us say that 2023, the calendar year, the worst performer has been financials, also backed by HDFC, and the biggest merger thing, which that was the cherry on the top, which eventually didn't had an event in the market. Also, if you see, the transition will take so much of time for from HDFC, because HDFC and HDFC banks have an extremely different culture to look forward for, and that's what we have seen in last 1 year, 1.5. HDFC Bank has been biggest underperformer in Nifty 500 comparatively to Nifty 500. So I would see, because people start getting in love with the stock, and I think so people have got into the love with HDFC Bank, and it's a great bank, no doubt about it. But can be a great bank in returns wise in next 3 years? I doubt it. So rather, I would urge to look forward for banks like Axis Bank, banks like KTK Bank, rather than HDFC Bank. So HDFC Bank would be a sell from my side.
Okay. Let's also very quickly go to Rajesh on the technicals, because today, remember, is also Bank Nifty expiry, and that's having a bearing on the Bank Nifty, HDFC drawdown or the selling that you're seeing in that stock. So Rajesh, what are the key levels to monitor for HDFC Bank if indeed you have to sell? And for the Nifty Bank, what are your immediate views?
So today the major dent on Bank Nifty is due to HDFC Bank, and now stock HDFC Bank slipped below to 100-day moving average also. So that clearly shows that now if stocks remains below to 1600 level, then possibly we may see further more pressure in coming trading session towards 1520, even 1480 kind of level on the downside. So overall, now near-term structure is turning on the bearish side, and if it's remain below to 1600, one can remain on the short side of trade, and then possibly 1520, 15 or 1490 would be the next target on the downside for HDFC Bank. On the Bank Nifty, there is a huge gap down, and follow-up selling is also there. Liquidation of position is taking place in the data. Looking at the data setup now, if it remains below to 47,000, then possibly Bank Nifty will attract more supply pressure for any kind of minor pullback if you get in during the day itself. So 47,000 is likely to act as a major supply zone for any minor pullback action. And if it remains below to those level, then possibly 46,500 followed by 46,200 could be the next target on the downside. So data is turning on the bearish side from the derivative perspective on the Bank Nifty.
All right. Let's jump straight into the questions, and quite a few have piled in. Just a quick reminder for everybody that's tuning in right now, you can send your queries to us on the YouTube live as well as on the WhatsApp number that should flash on your screen right now. All right, let's take this question from Mohan. He's writing in from Talcher, and he was wondering whether to invest in HDFC Bank. I think to a certain extent we have gotten that answered, where Rohan is saying that he does not prefer, and if at all, he is a seller right now in HDFC Bank. But he's also asking about IDFC First Bank. He's got 1,000 shares at levels of 90. Should he sell or should he hold, is the question, Rohan, on the fundamentals.
Yeah, I think so. IDFC Bank has shown some resilience from last 2 to 3 years. The number has been improved, and what we have seen after a longer consolidation of 7 to 8 years, things is going to go into a good trajectory, and also there is a turnaround story which we look forward for with IDFC and IDFC Bank. So on every parameters, we feel that it's an hold story. So you should hold, and if you get like a deep, it can be a good point for accumulation.
All right, let's jump to the next question. We've got SD Belwal, who's got Balrampur Chini, which he's bought on 2 occasions. And this one's for you, Rajesh, on the charts. He's bought at levels of 476 and at levels of 506. So slightly elevated zone that he's accumulated or bought at. The stock is currently trading at 387 or thereabouts, and it's down about 1.3% in trade today. What advice would you give him based on the technical indicators?
So if we look at the short to medium term perspective, also stock is consolidating since last 8 to 9 months in a very narrow range. So overall structure is looking on the consolidation mode only. If stock manages to cross above 450 level, then only we can see some revival in the prices, and then possibly stock can show good traction towards 540, 550 zone. But again, looking at the near-term, short-term structure, we believe that some more consolidation is likely to there. If you can wait for another 6-month kind of time frame, then only I think that trajectory where you have bought can be reached in Balrampur Chini. So if you can spend some more time, then only that the price may come. Overall structure for the long term is on the bullish side, but we can see further more consolidation for next couple of months also in the stock. On the downside, 365 is the key support area, and on the high side, 450 is the key resistance area. Until unless 450 not taken out, it may remain in the consolidation.
Understood. All right, Vineet has got this next question, and it is from the perspective of the union budget. He says that he's looking at IREDA as well as NBCC and NCC at the current levels. Of course, Rohan, this one is an interim budget, so I don't think that there are likely to be any big bang announcements. I think that is the standard expectation. Of course, there could be something of a surprise. But having said that, these 3 particular counters, what do you think about the fundamentals that could affect them going forward?
You see, this all, whatever the names they have been talked, they are, in the market, like, buzzing in the last 6-8 months. And whatever, the turnaround or the good valuation or the normal valuation would have happened. So the whole story is on the capex side, and of course, the way government is working. You're all very bullish, but I would just recommend that, not to invest on only to that side of, that market may, because of the budget. Looking forward for these 3 are very different company, but I believe that the way the things are, it may give more 20 to 25% return. The things have got a bit hotter in this size of the thing where people are suddenly very bullish. So maybe a good profit taking at 20-25% upside would be a good buy.
Okay, fine. We've got Mr. P.K. Bandopadhyay, who is asking about Indian hotels. He says that he has bought but I do not know what level he has bought at. So just a quick reminder to everybody asking questions on stocks that you are holding right now, please do mention the stock price that you have bought at. He's looking for a short-term trade on this one. Based on what you're seeing on the charts, Rajesh, if somebody's been holding, what are the short-term expectations and at what level is a good level to sell?
So I think this hotel stocks are doing good, and Indian Hotel is one of the outperforming stocks. Series of higher top, higher bottom formation across all time frame. Stock is enjoying all-time high trajectory. So looking at the overall structure, we do have a bullish view for the stock. Keep trailing your stop loss. I believe he must be in profit as the stock is almost at all-time high trajectory. So keep trailing your stop loss if you want to have some near-term trading. So keep your stop loss at 450 level. If it continues to hold above 450, then possible upside target we can see in coming weeks towards 485 to 490.
Jai Krishnan is writing in from Kozhikode and he's asking about Ultratech Cement. For the medium term, he's looking at adding this company. Rohan, would you say that this is a good level to start accumulating based on the fundamentals?
Sorry, can you repeat the stock, please?
We're talking about the market leader in the cement category, Ultratech Cement.
Yeah, I believe that it has done in last 6 years, 4 years, a good turnaround has happened with more than 26% of market share, extremely better management, superior brand creation. If there is one cement stock should be bought in the portfolio without any doubt, could be Ultratech Cement. So it's a great accumulation.
Okay. Anything else though in the cement pack? Would you prefer apart from Ultratech? And what are the key red flags or concerns that you might have? Is there any concern, for example, with regard to pricing?
I think so. Pricing is not a big concern for the thing because I believe that the way the demand is, it will not match. But maybe seasonally there can be, one or quarter here and there, which we saw in 2021-22. But overall, I believe on a long-term aspect, I don't see a major issue till the growth story comes to an end. So you asked the first question, which could be the second stock. We like JK Cements. The way the JK Cements and the putty, their business, they have gone with a good market share, a good mix of, the tier 3, tier 4 market they have grabbed is something which is very interesting. So on the larger scale, Ultratech, and to mid to small size, it could be JK Cement.
Okay. We've got Mitesh Bharadwaj, who's tuning in from Bardhaman in West Bengal. Thanks, Mitesh, for writing in. He's got HAL, which he's bought at a price of 1996.68, just under 2,000 rupees per share. And he's asking what his strategy should be for a period of 9 to 12 months. So a lot happening, of course, in the space that HAL plays in. But on the technicals, Rajesh, what's the view?
So overall, strong structure for HL and series of higher top, higher bottom formation that clearly shows sustained buying action is taking place. I think he should remain invested in the stock as we believe that, if stocks continues to hold about 2,900, 2,850 kind of level, then possible upside target we can see towards 3,200, 3,400 also in a positional basis. So overall structure is bullish. You should buy and accumulate even in the decline also. Overall stock seems to be on the bullish side for across all time.
Understood. All right, gentlemen, we have to slip into a very quick break. Viewers, you've written in, a lot of you. We'll take your queries after the break, so do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit. This is where we take all of your stock-related questions. And we've got a question coming in from Natasha, who's writing in from Goa. She's asking about Olectra Green Tech, which she has bought, but she's not told us what level she has bought at. She's wondering whether to hold on to this, I'm assuming based on the fundamentals. And she's also wondering whether to buy something like a GVK Power or even an Orient Green. I will take this question to you, Rohan, based on the fundamentals. A lot happening in the EV bus space. So therefore, is Olectra a good company to hold?
Yeah, so we have seen the product and the products have been accepted. Specifically, if you see a lot of government, buses have been now e-bus. The profit has been decent, but see, this comes at an extremely high valuation of 180 times forward. It also you see it is somewhere around 100 times of valuation, which is where we're not comfortable. So that is the time we would see that one bad quarter will give a very big bad hit to Olectra. So that is the reason we would not recommend you to buy.
And Natasha has just replied, she's bought at levels of 1592. So she's in the green. She's not losing ground right now. Would you say that it's a good idea to take money off the table? And if she wants to play the power theme, which seems to be the case based on what she's looking at, which stock would you recommend that she put money in right now?
So there are a lot of, first of all, first answering to first question, that I believe that watch the quarter numbers, what they're coming this time, and then take a decision. One. Second is that, if you say on the power theme, there are a lot of power individual themes which you can talk. But I think on a very decent point, Tata Power is available at a very, very decent valuation with a lot of, good things coming onto in next 2 to 3 years. So Tata Power could be a best pick in comparison of an Olectra.
Okay. All right. Manix has got a question. He's writing in from Chennai and he's asking about Tata Motors and what a ride it's been for investors in Tata Motors. He's got 106 shares, but he has not told us again what level he has bought in. I'm assuming that he has bought earlier and, well, everybody who did buy earlier has made a lot of money. The question is, should they hold on? Based on the technicals, Rajesh, what would you say?
Yeah, so he should hold as overall structure is bullish. Stock is almost trading near to all-time high trajectory only. Very mild profit booking is happening in the stock, but still as stock is holding above 770, 780 zone, there is no as such worry in terms of trend. Stock may exhibit furthermore upside in coming weeks. So our target on the high side is towards 845 to 860 for near-term trading perspective. He should trail his stop loss at around 780 zone.
Got it. We've got a question coming in from Umesh Gupta, writing in from Gurugram, and he's asking about LIC. And incidentally, LIC today became once again the most valuable PSU stock. It has crossed its listing price, but it's not too far away from its issue price, so it's made up quite a bit of ground. He's bought at levels of 904, which is finally not too far away from the current market price. So Rohan, based on the fundamentals, would you, actually no, he's asking for a short-term outlook. So Rajesh, I'll come to you on the charts again. LIC, he's very close to his buy price. What should he do?
So after a long consolidation, stock managed to give breakout on the monthly chart. That clearly shows that, yes, we can see further more traction on the higher side and possibly we can see target towards 940, 960 in the continuation of this rally. So if he has bought at lower price, yes, he should hold it. At this moment, we would suggest keep a stop loss of 860 to hold your long position. On the higher side, 940, 960 could be the target in coming weeks.
Got it. We did talk about the banking pack at the start of the program, but we've got a specific question coming in from Manohar Cherela. Asking about Axis Bank, whether or not it's an increase or decrease if you hold the stock or if it's a fresh buy. Rohan, I don't think you mentioned, if I remember correctly, Axis Bank. What's your view specifically on this particular counter?
First of all, on disclaimer, we hold in our fund and we are inherently bullish in this company because we hold. So on that, see, Axis Bank is a great turnaround story after the Citibank acquisition and all the things which has happened, and it has been a great value because 6 to 7 years has been a non-performer. You look at the numbers, the strength and the growth, what it is comparison to comparison to HDFC, Kotak and ICICI is available at quite a decent price to book value, and looks like that in private bank, in specifically large cap, it is one of the biggest outperformers. So positive on Axis Bank, targeting 1500 rupees in coming 1 year.
Got it. We've got a question on IEX, India Energy Exchange, and we've got a question from Ramesh from Hyderabad. He's already acquired at levels of 186. In fact, let's try and pull up the chart. Well, the stock price is down quite significantly in trade today. 152 or 153 is where it's currently trading, down about 7%. Rohan, there were a few question marks about regulatory changes in the power exchange space and question marks about whether or not this company would face a problem on the pricing front. Is that why the stock has taken a bit of a beating? And if you are holding at levels of 186, should you hold on?
Well, see, in bull market, classic bull market, we see that the companies which are outperforming, and of course, we have seen IEX in all the negative territory. Secondly, what has happened in the business is when you pay a premium of an valuation to a monopoly business, and then you find that the company can go to a duopoly business, the valuation just gets slashed out. And that's where what has happened in IEX. So on that scale, I believe that this is not the time to, look forward for in the investment. There are a lot of power, good businesses which are available right now. And just because the stock is down, it is not a reason to buy, in a stock. So for the time being, it is it's a negative from my side.
Okay. Bastin Arakkal is asking about Adani Wilmar, which he's bought at 490 levels, I believe. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's currently trading. So it's currently trading at 350 or thereabouts. So based on the charts, what is the advice that you would give, Rajesh?
So Adani Wilmar is still in bearish territory. We've seen most of the Adani Group stocks have done well in recent past, but Adani Wilmar is still not able to make out the breakout above its major supply zone. So major supply zone for the stock is at around 380 to 390 zone. Until this stock not crosses above those level, it may remain under pressure only. On the downside, 340, 335 is the important level on the near-term chart pattern. So 335 to 490 is the 335 to 390 is the consolidation for Adani Wilmar for some more time. Either side breakout or breakdown will decide the further fresh direction for the stock. At this moment, we expect some more consolidation is likely to be there in the stock prices.
Got it. Standard disclaimer, NDTV Profit is part of the NDTV Group, which is owned by the Adani Group. Now, we've got a question on YouTube on KPI Green. We've got Amit Rastogi looking for the long-term view on this particular counter. Any view on this one, Rohan?
Yeah, it happens to be, we believe that the story is too over both into fundamental side and, on valuation parameters both together. This is a good time if you bought it at a level, start having a bit of profit booking, because what happens is that if there is a bit of mid-cap correction, all stock which has outperformed Nifty 500 by 500% will have a good decent correction, and which is due. So it is a good time to take some profit.
Okay, talk about Vodafone Idea, currently trading at 15.25. Rohan, this one's for you. We've got Mahesh from Kochi who's bought 25,000 shares of the counter almost 6 months back at an average price of 10.2. He's wondering about the short-term and the medium-term outlook or the prospects for this particular counter, considering the uncertainty about the fundraise that has been doing the rounds or conversations about the fundraise. What's the view on this particular counter?
Yeah, see, this counter is like a very high-risk, high-return counter. The retail interest is just because the stock is in the single digit, or now it is in double digit. Still, this company makes 30,000 crore of losses, and that's the reason we don't track in very detail. But yeah, there can be a turnaround if there is a funding thing which goes around. But look at it, what it has happened is that the market share has been now grabbed by two of the businesses, Jio and Bharti. So if it happens also, it is not a long-term story, except it is acquired by two of this company, which we don't see any reason for. So on that terms, it could be a good short-term trading bet, but on a long-term point, we don't see a vision out of it.
Okay, fair point. Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of this particular edition of Ask Profit. Rohan, as well as Rajesh, thank you so much for joining in and for answering all the questions that you did. Have a great day. Viewers, hopefully the questions that were answered on this program helped you in some way, despite not necessarily being able to take all of the questions. If you've got more, do write to us and we'll attempt to take them tomorrow, or in fact, better yet, tune in live and we'll take all of them, or as many of them as possible tomorrow. Do stay tuned, lots more coming up, and this is NDTV Profit.